Okay, I'll just wait for a few more minutes. Half the class is in now. There's still 100 more that are still not in yet. Once they're in, we shall start the second part of our lecture. Okay, class, there's still 86 of them who are not responding. So, however, I will just start in 1 minute's time. So those that are ready at your laptop, just be prepared. We are going to start soon. Lee Wei, Jeff, yes, to this class, not for this session because we are having two sessions today. So the second session will start at 12 to 3. Okay, class, let's not wait and let's just start our next part of the session. Okay. Okay, before this, any question pertaining to the first section which we have went through earlier? Okay, great. If there's no other question from the first section, let's move on to the second. Okay, the second section, we are going to describe what managers do. So basically, the first part, we talk about what is management and who are managers. Now we are going to describe in a way what managers do. We are going to look at this. We are going to talk about this, look into the four function approach, management approach, and skill and competency. Okay. So we are going to take note of these four different things and how the approaches in a way is different from each other. So the first one we are going to talk about is a four function approach. Okay, now what does it mean by the four functions approach? Okay, the four function approach, right, basically talks about planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Sorry. So this management approach, right, is by these theories called 4-year. And usually, right, it started with 5 common activities, which is plan, organize, command, coordinate, and control. However, it has been streamlined and condensed to 4, which is planning, organizing, leading, controlling. Okay, so now let's take a look. What does each of these means? As you can see, planning will okay, all these 4 functions, we will be touching on each of these functions in greater details in the following lectures. But in a nutshell, I will give you a summary of the 4 functions. Okay, so the first one is planning. Basically, in planning stage, right, it is usually the part whereby the organization will start to ask ourselves to establish what kind of mission, vision, the type of activities that they want to engage in, and the plans that they are going to develop. Okay, that is the planning stage. Okay, it's always the first stage and the first steps that will be done. Okay, Georgia, your slides are all available as course content already, so you can just download from there. Okay, the next one is organizing. Organizing is basically like what we mentioned earlier in terms of the structure, whereby we will make sure that the activity and tasks are issued to different functions as well as to different groups of people so that they will know what is their roles and what they are supposed to do. Okay. The next one is leading. Okay, leading is a bit interesting because leading will tend to involve people. So in that lecture, we will talk about leadership qualities. We will talk about motivational factors and how we can spur them and direct them to do activities. Okay, and of course, in terms of leading, because people are involved, we also need to have effective communication in order to make things to make sure that communication is effective as well as to resolve conflicts. The last part we talk about controlling, and controlling will talks about how we are going to monitor the performance, and of course with the company, with how we're going to move and achieve our objective in the goals, and correcting what we call is the gap, or in marketing terms, or sorry, in management terms, we call deviation. Okay, so basically this is the 4 function, right? Okay, the next approach that some organization will use is what we call management roles. Okay, for management roles, right, it is actually created by this theories called Mingsburg. and he has identified and defined the managerial roles into a few categories. Okay, so basically you have three categories, as in like interpersonal role, information roles, and decision roles. So it is actually talking about the expectation, the category of managerial actions, and the behavior that is expected of a manager. Okay, so example, the role that you're playing now. Are you a student? You can be a student. Okay, definitely you're a student. And you can be a child or a sibling to your brothers and sisters, a daughter or son to your parents, boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, and so on and so forth. So in fact, Mingsberg actually separated them into 10 separate roles, but interrelated roles. So here you can see they have figure eight, leader, liaison, monitor, disseminator, spokesperson, okay, and negotiator as well. Okay, New Yen, if you cannot hear me, can you check your speaker? Because if the rest can hear me, I think maybe it might be your system itself. So in a way, for this both approach, right, when we talk about function and we talk about management role, these two roles, in fact, both approaches, right, they do a good job in describing what managers do. However, if you look at it, right, this approach, the function approach, is something which we find that is more popular because of the clarity and simplicity. Okay, because for these four function roles, right, it actually clearly and specifically will block each of the category into four different areas. It is more clarified and easy to understand as compared to this management role approach. Okay, so in our management or in further lectures, we will be very much focusing on our functions: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay, all right. Okay, now at this point, any question? Okay, if no questions, then I will move on to the next part, which is what skill do managers need? Okay, so now when we talk about skills that manager needs, right? Basically, these are the four key areas that managers will need. Now, let's look at each one in greater details. The first one, conceptual skills. So basically, what is conceptual skill? Conceptual skills, right, as stated, right, it is basically analyzing and diagnosing things or complex situation, and to see how things fit together to facilitate, in a way, better good decision. Okay, now tell me, conceptual skills is usually required at which level for a manager? Just take a few seconds and think about it. Top manager, yes. Who else? Top managers. And usually those higher middle managers, they sometimes will do that as well. Okay, basically, right, they are more complex. They are the people who their conceptual skills are needed at the higher or the top manager side, because These are the group of people that need to analyze and diagnose to facilitate good decision. So remember the hierarchical structure that we see? The hierarchical that we see? Lead in the, okay, yes, to lead the group as well. So in the hierarchical way, right, we will know that these are the people that needs the conceptual skill to solve problem, to make decision, and to make sure that everything were being planned properly. Okay, so this is this part, conceptual skill. That's why you need a lot of analysis and diagnostic. Okay, all right. Now, the next one we are going to talk about is interpersonal skills. Okay, so what is interpersonal skill? Interpersonal skills is basically how we work or we deal with people. Okay, now, interpersonal skills, right, has very much related to even things like motivation, to communication, to good communication, to good motivation. Okay, this is something which is, when I talk about this, I always tell people, system is something which is easy to set up. I won't say easy, but a system is something which we can control. Okay, it's just like if we program the system in this way, it works for us in this way. However, people is the most crucial part whereby we need skills. Okay, we need skills, or we need some ability, or some, we call it the EQ, to make sure that we are able to work well with people. Okay, and in interpersonal skill is a skill set that how we talk to people, how we communicate in a way that, be it politically correct, or be it the way we can motivate people. These are interpersonal skill. A skill set which some of us has it more, some of us might need to brush it a bit. Like, I believe that we sometimes when we deal with people, the way we talk might be a bit abrupt. Okay? Interpersonal skill is how we can manage the relationship with others. Okay, so that we can work well with other people. All right. Okay, understand this part for interpersonal skills? Up to this part, any question? Okay, at any point, or at some point of time, I will just stop and see if you have questions. So any question, you can just raise your hand and I'll get back to your question. Okay. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is technical skills. Now, what is technical skill? Another word that I like to use for technical skill is basically the word, okay, let me just type it here. Okay, I'll use another different color because it seems like, okay, it's called expertise. All right. That means what you're good at. A skill set or a knowledge that is needed to perform certain tasks. Okay. Like, okay, like example, even like now, we might have, yes, correct. Now, it's not about Truong Quan Tiong, did I pronounce your name correctly, was saying that does manager need to know technology like IT? Okay, this is a very good question. In today's context, I believe that because every one of us are communicating using a device, I wouldn't say that they exactly need to know about IT stuff. But if you're talking about daily function, as in like sending emails, understanding certain system in the organization, yes, they need to know some technological know-how. Just like myself and yourself, we are doing on the Blackboard platform. We are using technology. Okay, Therefore, it is necessary for us to have and understand how we can operate. Okay. But when you talk about IT, it's a bit when your IT, if let's say it's a scope deeper than the what we need to know, meaning those kind of like operating systems or understanding how to programming. At this moment, I don't think most of us need to have. But back to technical skills. Technical skills is basically things that is possessed that they need. Take for example, in a let's say we say car, okay, car repair shop, okay. The technical skills that is needed for the person to know will be mechanic, right? So mechanic are people who has the technical skills. So they have these technical skills that is required for them to fix the car. Okay. So they have their expertise and they have the knowledge how to do it. Okay. Now this is based on if it's a car repair shop. But if you're talking about any other organization, let's say accounting, in finance department, they are specialized knowledge that is required in their area of work. You know what I'm trying to say? You see, like all of you let's say you are trained in management, okay? You will need to know certain specialized knowledge in this area that is needed, okay? So it can be, it's like technical skill can be meant in terms of just the knowledge or the skills, okay? Just remember the keyword is the expert and knowledge in the particular job itself. All right, can understand this part? Okay, the technical skills. Okay, now in Pai Ting was asking, do all the 4 levels manager need these 4 skills or just one of them needs? Okay, now later on I'll explain a bit more, but since we are here, let me just explain. You see, everyone, it will be good that a managers will have all these 4 skill set. All right. Sorry, I don't think I can make the word bigger. I am unable to, but I will try. I don't think so. Okay, but I'll in that case I'll try to write. Anyway, to reply to your question about does 4 levels of does all the 4 levels measure need to do, the answer is they will need to know, but not at the same percentage. Okay, let me just use whiteboard to demonstrate this. Okay, so let's say top manager, okay, middle manager, and we have lower manager. This is based on CATS theory, okay. Pardon my word. So is this way. When we talk about conception skill, top managers, right, will usually needs more. Okay. And then when we talk about okay, when we talk about technical skill, lower management will need more. But interpersonal skill, the 3 levels will need. Can see? Okay, meaning if you are at the top management, okay, by all the levels, okay, I'm talking about 3 levels, okay? Because the last on team and the operation, I shall skip that part. All the levels, you should possess all the conceptual skill, technical skills, and interpersonal skill. However, for top management, usually you need more conceptual skill because you think. Okay. Lower management, because you are at the lower rung, a lot of times you do. So you need a lot of technical skills. But over these all, everyone needs to have interpersonal skill, especially the middle management, because they are the one to communicate with the top and disseminate to the bottom. Okay, can understand this part? Okay, great. So that's the reason why you need to have three of these. All these are important. Okay. Let me see. Do I have these? Okay. Let me just get back to the slide that we left off. This one. Okay. So in short, a managers will need to have all the skills, but the percentage of all the skill between the three levels, it will be different. Okay. So technical skill, usually when you go to an organization, who's the one that do the dirty job? I won't say do the dirty job, but do the operational. It's the technical and the lower level managers, right? But on the top part, the organization, people like those CEO, directors, they will be those people that are doing all the thinking. Okay. So this is what is answering to Bai Ting about, do all four managers need these four skills? Okay. So we can understand on the technical. So we have covered conceptual, we have covered interpersonal, and then we have covered technical. Finally, let's come to political skill. Okay, this is a part that is interesting. Anyone want to try in terms of like, what is political skill? No one want to try. Okay, let me just explain what is political skill. Jingqi say knowing of politics. Well, in an organization, not really. Rules and regulation, no. Policy, nope. Okay, the key word to, I'm going to use the words again. So pardon me if the words is too small because I have not figured out. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, it is basically political. Sorry, it is basically what we call connection. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can make it bigger, but sorry, I can't. So now, if you talk about political skill in management, it is basically talking about connection. All right. Trump can't say political relate government. He thinks that company can employ lawyers of the actually no. Li Xiang say connecting with employees. Actually, when we talk about political skill, it is basically establishing. Okay, let me just rub this. I'm going to the blackboard again. I'm going to the whiteboard. So political. Pardon my handwriting. Political skills, right, is basically talking about what we call the, okay, follow me, right connection. Okay. And the right connection to do what? Okay, this is the key thing, the right connection to get needed resources. Oh, okay, resources. Okay, so basically, you just need to understand political skill is the right resources. Be it with your customer, with your suppliers, with anyone that can help you to get better deals, get things done, get anything that is of benefit to the organization. Okay, that is political skill. So somehow or other, it is not politics. Do not get it mixed up with politics. Okay, do not get mixed up with politics because it is not politics. Can you understand this part? Right. So basically, these are the 4 relevant skills that is needed by managers. Okay, great. Okay, next. Okay, Gong Zeran, he was saying that you do not know the 4. Okay, now, this is the one. You're talking about this slide, right? Okay, basically, just we talk about these 2, correct? The 4 functions, as well as the management role. Okay, but what approach takes the price is that we are trying to explain that we are using the 4 functions, which is the planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Okay, which we are going to we because it's more simplified and the approach is being used more often by organization. Right? Okay, so back to our major skill set. So the last part, we're going to talk about why we need to study management. Okay. So the thing is that the key thing about studying management is that we need to understand memorizing. No, you do not need to memorize, but you need to understand. It will be good to know. Okay. So next part, we are going to talk about why study management. Can you why we need to study management? Okay. Now, when we look at this word, improving. Okay. We need to understand that in today's context, we are facing a lot of uncertainty. All right. And uncertainty and changing environment. Correct. Can you see the words? I know it's a bit small. I'm trying to figure out how to make it bigger, but I have not able to yet. Okay, good. So the reason why we study management is that we need to know how we can improve the organization and how to manage it. Because in today's context, everything is uncertain. Environment is changing. Okay, which I'll talk about it in the second chapter in the second topic later. Okay. So in this way, right, we have to work around it. We are because our aim, okay, our aim is to get things done. Now, some people ask me, okay, this is ambiguous. Why is it that improving will get things done? Okay, simple. I just need to explain a simple concept. In the past, or 15, 20 years ago, when technology is not something which everybody is using, technology is not something that people put their focus on, everything is fine. Everything is done traditionally. Even like in school, we go school, we have books. But as things move faster, things change with the advancement of technology. The effectiveness and efficiency comes in with the usage of technology. Just like now, we don't talk about just this period of time whereby pandemic is hitting everyone. We talk about even before the pandemic. In the past, during my time, when I want to meet my lecturer or to ask a question, I need to go down to school, make sure that the lecturer is in school, and the traveling time going down, just like that. The most is making a phone call, which is hard to get them as well. But in today's context, it's different. When you go to school, you will know which class you're in because there is a board displaying which class you're in, technology. When you want to ask a question, like during the break time, I received quite a couple of students telling me that they couldn't get online because it can only take 250 students. This is another technology. They send me and I reply them within the next 5 minutes. So if you are an organization, do you think you need to improve due to the changing environment? You need to, right? You need to make sure that your staff are also trained technically. I won't say that you need to do like just now one of the students asked about being very IT savvy, no need. But at least the technical know-how to actually functions and make things work is just necessary. Okay? So this is the reason why we study management. Because it also make things more effective and efficient. You look at schools nowadays, we are improving. Okay? And organization are managed in a different ways, in a different way already. So the keyword, because we need to improve due to uncertainty and changing environment, and the key objective is to get things done. Okay? Can you understand this part? So this is what, and the thing is that in today's context, most of y'all are considered the millennial generation. So let's do a polling. Okay. Let me see. Let me see in this class. Okay. Let me see in this class. Let's do a polling. In this class, right, who are between 20 to 30 years old? You are all considered as millennial generation. Wow, there's so many of you. Okay, so continue. Yeah. Okay. Continue to respond. While you're responding, let me just explain. Usually when organization, that's fine, being 50. Okay, you're 12, I'm 8. 40 is not, you're only between 20 to 30 years old. 19, you are considered the more digital and the other batch already, which the generation has not been given a name yet. So basically, right, we are trying to say that even like organization being well managed, they will develop certain economy prospect for the people, for the customers, and for the country as well. Okay. Some people say you're 3 years old. Okay. You must be a prodigy, right? 12. Okay. So the other 100 people who didn't respond, I believe that you are between the age. Okay, so much of you, quite a couple of you are in the age range. Okay, so basically, right, those in the millennial, the way you do things is different from the older batch of generation as well. Okay, in the millennial section or the millennial generation, you will find that everything what you look for is opportunity. Okay, or everything that you look for is opportunity. You are not into, like, if let's say you start off an accountant, doesn't mean you will end up an accountant. These people, they will, I won't call your people, they are millennial generation. Your thinking is different. Your thinking is different. So when at certain point of time, right, you might start off as an accountant, but you might end up as a cook. Okay? I mean a chef. So this is because you're looking for opportunities. You're different from baby boomers. When they work in a company, they will die for the company. Okay? So that is what I'm trying to say. All right? But doesn't matter which age group you are, but basically what I'm driving at this point is that we are constantly trying to improve. We are trying to improve what we are doing, is because even the people that we bring in are different. Okay, I can't be. It's just like the baby boomers. They cannot bring in their traditional way of working to this century or this generation, because we think differently. Millennial generation do not just stay in the company until the day they die. Okay, not like them. So we have to understand. So a lot of times, people will either manage or being managed. That's it. Okay. The key thing about all these, which is the last part which I want to talk about, which will link to, which will be linked to the next chapter, is that the reshaping and redefining management. Okay. And the basic concept you just need to understand will be this. Okay. Take about 30 seconds. Read these two words. Simple words, but it means a lot. Okay? Now, changing workplace and changing environment. If you look at this slide, right, it will be just like what I mentioned earlier about we have having a workplace that is different from last time as compared to now. Even like workplace, we just talk about what we're doing now. What is supposed to be our workplace? It's supposed to be classroom, right? Am I right? Okay, okay, give me a second. Classrooms, okay. And for us lah, it's supposed to be classroom, but of course, what the other students say, office, yes. We have factories, okay. But look at us now. Our workplace has changed to virtual, okay, for now. And in future, right, one organization might just need an office because everyone can be working from home as long as they have a device. Okay. That is for changing workplace. Even like shopping. Nowadays, all of us, we buy things from where? Online shopping, right? We buy our clothes, even food. I believe that, okay, yes, e-commerce. And I believe that even like now, maybe some of you are ordering food delivery to be sent to your house before the next class. Okay, unless of course some of you have parents who cook, that's different. But I believe some of you might be waiting for your delivery or ordering food delivery and such. So changing. Okay. So when you change workplace, the first thing that we have to change is our strategy, okay, in management. Am I right? In management, of course, in how we plan, firstly, because it will be different already. How we organize, even the structure will be different. What do I mean by that? Structure organization will further dwell into it in the next few lectures, but now just give you a nutshell. Like hierarchy, we have top to bottom, right? Then we have a lot of people. But as the new management, the changing environment or changing workplace, it might be very lean, okay? Because all will be working at their station, okay? It become like horizontal, okay? Okay, this is for changing workplace. Now, what about changing workforce? This is what I talk about. You just need to know. I just use a big word, generation. Okay, changing workforce, generation. Because baby boomers, generation X, generation Y, digital generation, millennial generation, all of you think differently. So changing workforce, changing. Okay, that's the reason why a lot of times, right, we need to understand how we can manage. Okay, we have to move on with time. Just like how you work now, you might not do the same in future when you have another group of a worker who are like maybe 20 years younger than you. You have to bear in mind that their thinking would be different. Okay, understand this part? Okay, so question, let's move on to the next. So why are customer important? We must understand that in today's context or in any situation, customers are important because they are the one. Okay, I don't use a very layman term as in money, but they are the one that will create your business. Am I right? If you have no customer, you will not have any business. Okay, simple as that. And have no business, you will not be able to operate your organization. Okay, now Tran Kan is asking me this question, so let me just reply. Changing workforce, can I make a way to keep every employee do effectively? Okay, now to reply to Tran question about changing workforce, if you want to keep every employee effectively, right, this is when you need to manage them. So when you manage them, what comes in? When you manage them, your leadership will comes in, which is one of the 4 functions. Okay, how to be employee effective? That is how you plan your strategy, how you motivate them. Remember, I was telling you, all of you earlier that system and process can manage. It's not managed, but easily managed, because whatever you have programmed, they will do exactly what you have done, what you have asked them to do. But human is different. Because basically human deals a lot on emotions, a lot of motivation. So you want to keep them effective, you need to know what makes them tick. Okay, what makes them work. Just like if I want to, let's say, if you want to get an A, you will be motivated to study hard. Simple. Okay. But if let's say you are not motivated to get an A, you just want to pass, then it will be different. Okay. All right. Okay. Tran is saying, I make point to know something finish or not and pay for. Okay, I don't really understand your question. Ming Yun, you're saying downsizing is a form of management. It depends. If your downsizing is due to changing environment, as in like you do not need so many, just like StarHub, Panasonic, like StarHub last year, they retrenched about 300 over people. It's because they have moved on to a digital platform. They don't need so many, what I say, they do not need so many people, okay, frontline people. Yes, correct. So they downsize in a way. Okay. Now, do I explain your question? Okay, great. Okay, let's see. Then just now I have someone talking about customers are king. Okay, back to this slide, right? So basically, customers are king, yes, because the concept behind, I always like to tell people what is the underlying thing is because they are the people who create the business. Okay. And when you have business, you will create money. Okay. So nowadays, right, customers are more and more demanding. Okay. They look for quality, they look for everything. They look for consistency, they look for quality. Therefore, if we can provide them, we can survive. Now, some people say, it's okay. Unless you are those kind, like you are con person, con artist who just want to do a one-time off, sell your product one-time off, and close shop, then that is different. But usually for long sustainable business, okay, talk about sustainability, yeah. Okay, let me just use my hand, it's faster. Sustainable, it will be better, like in a way, to make sure that you always provide customer with consistent and high quality services. Okay. So, and next, when we talk about this, right, we have to move on to the importance of innovation. Okay. Innovation. You see, in today's context, right, innovating, it means like exploring into new different platform, different things, not just for high tech, but for innovation of all types. Even like in today's context, even like education, we need to innovate how to create learning to be fun. Okay. So you see, like we can, like in class sometimes we will innovate doing more hands-on, even like we can present class in a different way. Of course, traditionally we have to keep on to a certain platform. Okay. And how does iPhone, we don't talk just iPhone, how does tablet, smartphone comes about? It is through innovation. Okay. With innovation, we comes with things that move and make things better. Okay. Not only make things better, but in a way, we are able to create better effectiveness and efficiency. You know what I'm trying to say? Okay. So when we talk about innovation, it is always something that everybody is looking at nowadays. Okay, it's an everyday thing. So the next one we want to talk about is on social media. Okay, social media talks about what? YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. These are social media. Now, why is it important? Because it connects with customers. If you look at every website now, most organizations now have moved on to digital platform. And they will always have this whereby they have this chat box. In the past, when I call any telco if let's say my phone is defective or I need to ask about Wi-Fi, I have to hold on to the phone and wait. Nowadays, the moment you call in, they will tell you, go to this website or chat with our digital robot or chat with our customer service online. Okay, and so now it becomes like everything has been moved on to that kind of platform. So social media is like, in today's context, right, I cannot imagine if we do our work without email or internet access, like intranet or extranet. Okay, even like now, of course, I won't consider as a social media now, but this is more a platform, and it is also a digital platform. It is communication tools. Okay, and like in Facebook, we can actually post our comments. That is why like nowadays it is so important because and it is all pros and cons as well. Just like social media, you can post about this seller. Let's say we use a very layman one, whereby you buy something over the website. You can give back comment, whereby the next buyer know whether to actually buy from this seller or not. Okay. In the terms of management, of course, we connect with our customers. Even like banks, we have extranet. Okay, they can email us. Email the banks, and then they connect with the customer. Any happening, they will get to know. They have chat box. Okay, they have links whereby they can get in touch with the people. Okay, and social media, of course, even like now, how do we know when something happened in the next moment? It is through social media. Of course, when we talk about managing human resource, it's like employees, right? They don't use all these social media just for personal time, but also for work purpose. Okay, so a lot of times we also in organization we also struggle because we tends to mix personal with work as well. Okay, and of course, they always say that even like now, I believe that while you have opened a window on Blackboard, you might have other windows, might have WhatsApp, might have messaging, might have Facebook. I won't be surprised. Okay, but there again, this is just saying that in today, because social media is not just a way to connect with customer, but also to manage. Okay, to tap on. So the power of social media is important. Okay, whatever you publish, message to employees, everybody will know. Okay, so this is how important is social media. Okay, so lastly, we're going to talk about is integrated economic environment and all this. Sustainability, like I mentioned earlier, all of these, right? In organization, why do we plan? The reason why we plan is because we want to make sure that whatever we are doing, we are able to sustain in the environment. Okay, in the in terms of like the opportunities. So even like companies, right, they need to make sure that in a way, in order to sustain, even like cars, even like Samsung mobile phone, smartphone, you realize that they recognize that and have been adding products to meet the challenges of the changing world. Other than I don't understand why Nokia, till now, their banana phone is still their old banana phone. Those who don't know what is banana phone is actually the Nokia 3310. In the past, everybody, that phone is a hoo-ha because it is a phone that is very nice, everybody using. But after so many years, we are expecting it to be digitalized. In the end, back to the traditional kind of way. So those that don't know about Nokia phone, you can actually check. This is the only product which I don't understand. How come the company does not recognize that the phone does not meet any challenges? Of course, if you want to keep the phone as a traditional phone or a phone that put in a museum, it can be, but not sustainable. Okay? Can I understand this part? So basically, sustainability is more on like understanding what the everything is doing, the kind of opportunity we have, the changing of environment, how we can integrate the economy in order to manage. Okay. So finally, before wrapping up, okay, we must understand that the productivity is all about relationship. Okay, it's all about engaging everyone. We must understand that like we mentioned earlier, like when one of you asked me, is all the skill set important? The most important is still how employees are connected to, whether they are satisfied and engaged in a way to create better productivity. Of course, systems come in a part whereby it also has to be a system and process that is smooth and ongoing. Okay, so managers does matter because only talented managers, right, will know what they can do and make the organization better. Okay. Okay. Question up to this point? Any question? Any question? Okay, good. Okay, if no question, I will end this session now and I will see you all back at noon. Okay, for the second topic of today. Okay, I'll teach more later. Okay, there's no homework for this module, right? Basically, we do not have any homework. Okay, this is more on like you can try on your work. Okay, try on the exam paper. Okay, hold on. Yes, sample paper. Okay, hold on. Someone was asking me. Yes, there's a class at 12 noon. It's at 12 noon, yes. 12 o'clock, 12 to 3. Okay, someone, Lee, asked me if you can ask question through the email. Yes, definitely. You can ask me on the web now, on the chat, or you can go into private chat, or you can ask me, or you can email with the question. No issue. All right. If there's no question, I'll see you guys later. For the 250 students, I am not very sure, but if you don't mind, can you all just like forward your question to the technical side, because for technical issue, I might not be the best person to answer. Okay. Okay, great. So I'll see you later. Okay, for the video, because of the platform, I'll give you the title whereby you can search it in YouTube. So it's easier for you rather than download later. Okay, but the session has been recorded, so you can actually play back and listen to the session later if you want. Okay, guys, take a break, and I'll see you in a while's time. Thank you.